health transformation.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Re-Engineering Your Health with me, Vidhi Beri, your health transformation coach. Today is as real as it gets. We are going to discuss conflict management, conflict resolution, and food stress. Why would I combine these topics together? And while you're at it, share this story on your timeline and activate your alerts to follow fomonomore. These two are so intrinsically intertwined right now more than anything else in all of our families, because the number one question I get from anyone working on their health with me, whether it's a child who's 10 years old or a 25-year-old or an elderly person, the number one thing is, what can I eat that's interesting? What can I eat at home that is fulfilling to my mind? And what can I give my little kids that they will be happy with me and there won't be conflict at home? So what is this food stress and conflict situation that's coming in? Well, if you're a family locked down together, there are going to be conflicts. And when there are conflicts, the number one contention issue right now might actually be food. Because some of us are highly motivated to take care of our health. Some of us are absolutely finding solace in food and want to eat absolutely everything our mind can imagine and that we can't get in a restaurant. So, even though we feel we are locked down, we don't have access to a whole lot of junk and a whole lot of restaurant food that was destroying our gut, we are recreating all of that in our kitchen. Now, when it's a family of 6, 8, 9, 10 people, and we have 3 generations, the conflicts become more magnified, even larger. What do they look like? So we have the youngest generation, which could be anywhere from 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, going up to 10-year-old kids. We have the in-between generation of parents who could be anywhere between 30 to 40. And then we have the elderly who could be anywhere between 60 to 70 or 80. And these 3 generations are mentally at war because they want 3 entirely different sets of things. And if there are 2 siblings, then you have a larger war happening there between the siblings, 2 boys, 2 girls, or a boy and a girl, who are maybe between the age of 3 and 10, 2 and 5, 2 and 7. In a lockdown situation, you will always find more conflict happening at home. What does this conflict look like? Do you think people are throwing things at each other? Is there shouting and screaming? Or is someone sitting in a room and sulking? Figure out what's happening in your family, because there's always some sort of underlying or overbearing conflict situation. And you know why? None of you can tell me that's not true, because we absolutely cannot evolve without conflict. Conflict is essential. If you were at peace, you were perfect and calm, you would have been so evolved that you wouldn't need an environment of people constantly putting their ideas and beliefs on you, doing an exchange, getting irritable. You wouldn't need what we call in India the leela of emotions, the play of family. So this whole scenario has to exist because we all have to evolve. And unfortunately, right now, we are all in a situation where we are forced to evolve. So we make it a fortunate situation. Because if we are in this situation together, we must understand one thing. Conflict is created and it's in existence because you exist. It's going to get real, it's going to get heavy. Be prepared for today's discussion, because if you didn't perceive that conflict, it wouldn't exist. If you weren't reacting to someone, it wouldn't exist. If your beliefs weren't a set of values and beliefs, there wouldn't be a conflict with somebody else's in the family, whether it's your child, whether it's your in-laws, whether it's your husband. Of course, I'm talking from the point of view as a woman, but this will be faced by every single individual one of you at any age group, because we are all on some level family oriented, on some level very individualistic. And the individual has an ego, has a set of values and beliefs, has pride, and all of it is attached to the I believe this, I want to do this. And whenever something goes differently, it is an internal or an external conflict. Many people say that, we need to have healthy conversations in families. We need to have a talk time between people. Do you think it's always possible? There's so many factors. People always want these ideal relationships. And in families, we've all grown differently. We all carry a different set of beliefs. Do you think it's possible to tell a 70-year-old man that you need to come down on the table and communicate and fight it out and reason with the 10-year-old grandchild? Do you think that's possible? Do you think he's going to change and come to your communication levels? I don't think so. I think we're going to have to find a way to bridge these gaps between 3 generations. So, of course, I'm taking a microcosm of a family that is 6 to 8 people large. We can have 3 to 4 people as well. Now, in this 6 people family, what might a typical food example be? We will have an individual or a set of parents who is trying to set the tone right for their children by giving nutritious meals, and is also encouraging their parents to not overindulge. Usually, the mantle is held by the woman or the mother and has a supportive husband or father. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But it usually falls on this one person, and she is now in a situation where there is a conflict created within her on how much to give in, how much not. Do I keep my nutritional lines? Do I indulge every 2 days? What should I do? Then she has this conflict going on where she tells her husband how much to eat, and she perceives a conflict from her mom-in-law and her dad-in-law where they want her to leave their son free, let him eat. She doesn't let my son eat, she doesn't let her children eat, she doesn't let my grandchildren eat. She's always rationing the chocolates. She's always rationing the Maggie and the biscuits. Why can't they have a scoop of ice cream every day? What's the big deal? It will satisfy their senses and they will stay happy. Let them eat what they want. That's that generation. Me, I might be like, oh my god, how much junk. There's going to be all kinds of cavities in their teeth. There's going to be all kinds of bad bacteria in their stomach. They're going to have a ruined gut by the end of this whole period. I don't know how to motivate anyone. I don't know how to correct anyone. This is a huge mess. That's what's going on. And maybe my husband or my partner might be like, why can't she just let go of this control? What on earth is her problem? Why can't she let my children eat and they will solve themselves? We grew up just like that naturally. How does it matter? So these are all different thoughts going on. And the poor little kids, we just don't get to eat. We don't know what to do. We have to sneak food. We have to go to our grandparents, hide in their room and have chocolate because mommy and daddy are going to come and be like, why did you do this? Primarily, mommy is going to scold me, and then daddy is going to come and be like, listen to your mother. How come you did this? She told you exactly not to do this and you did this. So this is how scenarios unfold around food. And of course, there's a whole lot of behavioral stuff going on, but I'm taking food as an example because we're talking about nutrition. So let's step back and see. This is an internal dialogue and it's a conflict in your head, but many times it manifests externally also. Is that good? Is that bad? Not really. Conflict manifesting in any way, internally or externally, isn't bad for you because it teaches you to cross it. It teaches you that there is a need to go beyond, to get real. And when there is a need to go beyond and get real, you are going to find strategies to resolve it within yourself. Because like I said, these are voices in our head. We perceive these conflicts. If you didn't exist and you didn't perceive, the conflict wouldn't exist. Of course, you can't stop existing, and of course, you haven't evolved till there. So you are going to have fights and let those fights manifest. It's absolutely okay to fight once in a while, internally and externally with your family members, just like siblings fight. If you have 2 kids, you'll see it happen. It's absolutely healthy. Definitely no punching at our age or above, but it has to manifest. So the first thing I want you to learn, that I am trying to learn right now because I have this whole gamut of family at home, is something natural that if you started from day one of the time that you had consciousness and continued, let it go. Let it go. Now you say, let what go? How can I let my child's health go? How can I let my husband eat whatever? How can I allow my in-laws to fall sick? Let it go means Let it go from holding on and controlling your mind. Let it go from making you go in a tizzy round and round in a circle of worry. Let it go from being a condition of power and control of any people at home, because it's not your job to solve everyone's problem. However, if you start becoming a mirror and a reflection of letting go, everyone else will let go. How will that happen magically and beautiful? Everyone else will let go, because when you're not controlling, people will be more at ease. When you're not controlling, everyone else is not going to be so adamant to eat more of all of those junk foods and those happy foods that they felt like eating. And then you're going to put strategies in place. So let's start to have a little empathy for everyone, because all of us, including me, who are motivated, sometimes miss out on something very simple. Not everyone is at that level of motivation. Not everyone is on a plan. And when they are not, and they've never been as a part of food discipline or planning, it's very difficult for them to meet eye to eye with you. They are going to come from the perspective they do. And there is where the empathy comes in. Step into another person's shoes, from their value system, from their cultural background, from wherever they are coming from in age, space, values. You will start seeing why they behave, react, and do actions in the manner that they do. And this is going to help you with your reactions, with your issues of control, with your perception of someone trying to do something negative to you, because the conflict will in itself resolve. You will understand why that person is doing so. In the same way, step into your children's shoes and see that when you were a child, or when your husband was a child, or your partner was a child, did either of you not have the same demands, same reactions when your parents clamped down on you for something? So empathy, stepping into another person's shoes, is the need of the hour when it comes to resolving conflicts within you and outside that you might have actually created because of your need to control. And when we are all together in a household, there will be one or two people who will try to control, probably someone like me who's in between. So become very, very aware that this need to control, and the answer to it is let it go and have empathy towards every single one of them, which now means a lot of self-work from within you and finding alternatives. What are these alternatives? So I have a few proposals here, and today let's get on to a program within ourselves, with each other and with our families. What might I suggest here? I like having M&M goals. M&M, not like the gems or the chocolate M&Ms, not the confectionery. Movement, nutrition, mindfulness. Movement, nutrition, mindfulness. These are the three magic words for every individual, every family who's hearing me, working with me, and is going to work further. Think of your life and your goals in these three measures right now, and you will be able to work out a whole lot of solutions with your family. What might those solutions be? Well, simply think about it this way. We are confined to a certain space. How much movement can we do? A lot of us are not getting exercise, so we are not secreting a whole lot of endorphins. One reason for conflict perception to go higher, and for you to reach out to those happiness foods or those junk foods that make you suddenly feel that your endorphins are rising and are mood elevators. So if we have movement goals set for everyone, how might we do that? Because if we can't have a communication or a discussion with everyone, then we have to find a way to get everyone involved in movement, the slightest or a little bit of cardio. What I would suggest is go back to the days of yore and find the games that we played. What are the two games that popped up to me that would make everyone laugh, everyone fight together in a fun way, everyone move a little bit, be in a tizzy around the house? Any guesses? I have grown up playing these games, and it's been a while since we played them. We are rediscovering them, and I want to share them with you because we're doing them as a family, and we all can do them in our confined spaces. You don't need a whole lot of spaces. You don't need a whole lot of people. 4 is good enough, 6 is good enough, 8 is good enough. So the two lovely games we have rediscovered are Lock and Key. You remember Lock and Key? One person starts as the dinner, runs behind the other, locks that person, and everybody else has to try and key that person, and the dinner wants to go catch everyone, lock everyone. And the game goes on and on. All age groups can play this. Yes, if you have very, very elderly, they will not be able to, and some may have a few movement problems. But lock and key is a game for many, many different age groups at different speed levels. Now let's take it, sober it down a little bit on the movement, but a lot of histrionics. What can we do there? We can play dumb charades at home, because who has the time to play that? Maybe a party game once in a while, but why not have a party at home every evening playing dumb charades? You honestly will not get bored, and you know what you're going to discover? Who in your family has the best acting talent? Who in your family knows the most bizarre movie names? And who in your family is absolutely amazing at guesswork and reading other people? Because there is that person who has to be able to read the signs, read the acting, and also know movie trivia enough to guess those names. So we find that dumb charades and lock and key are the games of the hour to help with the movement, histrionics, and the acting talent going there. So those are two things I discovered, and it's been working with a whole lot of families. So I definitely suggest you do that as a conflict resolving activity, and it really dissipates a lot of heat, gets the endorphins and the dopamine on the rise. Now, talking about activities, yesterday we got into the power of myth and storytelling. Creating circle time, story time with your family, where everyone tells a single sentence and builds a story together. It may work for your entire family, it may work for a smaller part of your family. Why did I suggest that to begin with? Because now there's a trend of storytelling classes for toddlers, growing children, because we don't have those structures anymore at home where narrative myths, mythology, stories are being told to children. So they absolutely have to look out for classes. But not anymore, because this is the opportunity for you to go jog your memory, tap into all those imaginary stories that you heard as a kid, and there is nothing good or bad. Mythology is mythology. There are some values that come in. There are different skewed values that come in. We are no one to judge, because culture evolved with all of these. So please don't have those hang-ups. Tell those stories you grew up hearing. Go into your spiritual, religious, cultural mythologies. And here is where grandma comes in, because all the grandmas that are out there, that they can absolutely be magical and part of the storytelling and sharing. They have an abundant resource of stories, and children are waiting. They are absolutely waiting. So even if a grandma believes that she doesn't have the talent or the theatrics to tell a story in an animated manner, her love for her grandchild will make her just animated enough to fulfill their senses. And she will find a way to keep them intrigued. So these are the small ways in which we start getting families involved. What might you do more? When we have nutritional goals together, everyone in the family is at a different place. Again, you need to have empathy for that. If you are going gluten-free, doesn't mean everyone else will. If one is going sugar-free, doesn't mean everyone else will. And there will absolutely be that one person who wants to eat high carb, high fat, all the junk in the world, every single meal, every single day, and have empathy for that person too. Because your need to change that person and your need to control that person has to be held back. This is where you need to have a control on yourself, because letting it go means letting others go, your hold on them go, but controlling yourself and becoming aware at the same time. So, nutritionally, wherever you are, if you are the person planning the meals in the family, observe again with empathy, where is every single person? If you need help, reach out to me or other people who are in this field, and make sure that we help you plan a space where we reach everyone's individual goals, plan those out, help you reach 4-day targets, 7-day targets. How might we do this? I challenge all of you now to start becoming aware in your family of everyone's movements, everyone's nutrition, and everyone's mindfulness practices, and set a goal as a family which is individual for each one of you. The children, the parents, the elderly, whatever number you have at home, and set MNM goals for each one of you. How might you set them? For example, if someone likes to take a little bit of a walk and you have a space in your home where they could take anything from 500 steps or more, they go in circles for half an hour, they've accomplished their walk. If you are between the age of, let's say, 20 to 50, you could do Tabata exercises like we talked about, and you go up from once a day to 3 times a day. If you're a child who was used to playing badminton, cricket, squash every single day, now not only are you going to do the walks, you're going to do the Tabata, you're going to do the lock and key, and you're going to help out with household chores. So your physical activity time increased. Of course, there are going to be those 1 or 2 of you in the family who absolutely has to be accountable for these activities. And what I propose is every 4 days, accomplish some goal. Reward yourself. Now that reward can be whatever you like. It could start from a piece of chocolate, a small bowl of popcorn. It could be a movie that you wanted to watch. It could be an extra nap that you wanted to take. But these are rewards that you want to give yourself every 4 days. Take a picture of yourself, rewarding yourself. Write the rationale behind why you're rewarding yourself. Share it with your family. Share it with your WhatsApp groups. Share it on your social media. I challenge you all and encourage you all to do this because we are in the second rung of the lockdown and all of you as individuals and families need to stay motivated. So the third part of the M&M, which is the mindfulness. What are mindfulness practices? Mindfulness practices are everything to do with your inner awareness and your ability to do stress management. How might we do some stress management within where we are feeling caged? Because feeling caged is not about being in a physically confined space. Feeling caged is about being caged within your mind. And you can feel that wherever you are, even if you're moving freely. That's what depression is all about, feeling caged within yourself. So now as a culture, can we not start preempting, preventing through our daily practices, through our family time, through our family support, which is our core, to actually have preventive movement, nutrition, mindfulness, so that we don't reach there. We are away from all of these lifestyle, mental health issues, physical health issues. So what would I propose? I've already given you 2 or 3 keys. What were they? One is forgiveness. Every time you perceive someone is in conflict with you, forgive yourself for that perception. Forgive the other person for that perception. Then we are talking about our 21 positive affirmations every day. I'm well and I'm thriving because I absolutely have to thrive under these circumstances. 2 more that I'm going to share with you. We've already done the pranayams every day. So 3 or 4 already exist. Are you all doing those 3 or 4 and more every day? If you started with 1, pat yourself on the back on the 4th day, reward yourself, and then the next 4 days, start another one. Start another one on top of the pranayam that you might already be doing. Keep it sustained. Start a mindfulness meditation over it. Once you've achieved that, sustain that, reward yourself again after 4 days. Share it with your friends, family, WhatsApp, social media. Huge booster. It will create a buddy system for every one of us. We will all stay motivated. I too struggle with a lot of my health and fitness goals. It really helps to have a buddy system where you're either on a group or a social group which helps you to preempt, prevent, and keep your motivation up when it comes to these practices. So today, our practice of mindfulness is going to be about gratitude. Because we are learning to empathize, put ourselves in other people's shoes, we are also learning to let it go and not control others. Because the first awareness of control has to happen within ourselves. Our thoughts, our words, our actions, those have to be controlled. You cannot try to control another human being when you yourself don't have controlled reactions. You are reactive, you are conflicting, you are perceiving conflict. So the first thing to stop and do, in addition to everything that we've talked about, is to simply have gratitude. 50 years ago, everyone did this as a part of their daily discipline, either religious or spiritual, or had been passed down through family, which was the practice of prayer. Whether you say your prayers, you join your hands in any manner, or you write your prayers, you actually express gratitude. And all of us need to be grateful right now for what we have. And what we have right now is good health. Every one of us who is watching this still has manageable health, good health, is safe, has some family around them, and is fulfilled to a certain extent. Whether you're enjoying your yummiest foods, or you're motivated enough to have some lifestyle and nutritional goals, or you're making your children study. Of course, everything is a fussy environment, everything is a tumultuous environment, but you have this core family, you have your core food available, you have a lot going for you. And because you have this, write 10 gratitudes, because this is a very, very powerful practice. It's almost like writing your prayer every single day. And the power of these gratitudes carry forward, because the minute we start becoming grateful, guess what we actually have? We actually gain time. So for all of you skeptics who don't understand why you should do this, do it because you'll gain time. And I'll tell you a quick key as to how. You will gain time because the minute you start becoming grateful, you write it as it becomes a part of your subconscious every single day. You know those little thoughts that creep into your head which cause conflict? The negative thoughts that, oh, he said this and he said that, and I don't like how my child is behaving today, and I don't like how my wife talked to me today, or I don't like why that thing is so dirty and not kept properly. And all of those thoughts, they will absolutely stop creeping in. They will be squashed like ants. So do this exercise right now. What I'm calling ants is automatic negative thoughts. Automatic negative thoughts. Imagine them now in a ridiculous picture in your mind, crawling out of your nose, little ants, and you are absolutely squishing them. Squish automatic negative thoughts. That's the number one key to conflict resolution. And then write your gratitudes every day, because not only will you resolve your internal conflict, you will resolve your external conflict, and you will have an abundance of time, because those ants won't be gnawing at your head anymore. So I hope we went deep enough, introspective enough, and have left you with enough to work on, because this is going to help you achieve your M&M goals, which you're going to tag me on and share with me. And also keep following and put the alerts on for fomonomore. Tomorrow we are going to get into growing children, fussy eaters, the right nutrition for our little ones, and supplements, energy drinks, protein powders. That's a category we haven't touched at all, and we are going to demystify that tomorrow and get into a few strategies for fussy young ones in our family, starting with toddlers to growing children. I hope that's exciting for a lot of you, and it'll help relieve a lot of emotional stress in your lives. So let's squash the ants and get on with it. See you all tomorrow.